As marijuana legalization begins to sweep the U.S., some cannabis companies are expanding their product lines, including beverages and beverage enhancement products. For more on this, we're going to bring in the one, the only Cheddar News' cannabis reporter, Chloe Ayalo.
Thanks so much, Alicia. So joining us now to discuss all this is John Sandelman. He is the CEO of Air Wellness. John, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's jump right in and talk about this acquisition. So Levia beverages are primarily available in Massachusetts. So why did the acquisition of Levia parent company Cultivana make sense for Air right now?
Well, I'm sure you have observed the shift in the alcohol beverage market away from hard alcohol and beer to hard seltzers, seltzers that are infused with alcohol. And since we know that our customer base both enjoys alcoholic beverages as well as cannabis, it was a natural for us to be able to offer our customers the ability to drink hard seltzer with THC.
You're absolutely right. Infused beverages are huge right now, and infused beverage sales did surge some 40% in 2020, according to Marijuana Business Daily, but they still account for a relatively small portion of the overall cannabis market. So why are you making this sizable investment now? And it is, of course, sizable, $20 million upfront in cash and stocks and $40 million more to come in shares potentially.
So it is relatively small today, the same way that hard seltzer 3 years ago was a small category and is now projected to be a $10 billion industry. We think that infused beverages, as the alcohol market for hard seltzer grows, so will THC. Air's strategy has always been to think about the demographics of our profile and to make sure that we have form factors that allow the individual demographic to enjoy their THC experience. More importantly, what I think is very exciting, as many Americans who have never experienced cannabis before, who may not have experienced it because they either don't want to smoke or vape or have an edible or consume alcohol, THC in that manner, might just start to enter the cannabis experience with a hard seltzer infused with THC.
Certainly. We have been hearing a lot about these beverages potentially, bringing new consumers to the space. And I do want to point out it's still relatively early in the infused beverage market, but already it's getting pretty crowded. We have PBR, we have Can now, of course, Canopy Growth with its Constellation beverages. What will make these particular beverages stand out?
So we've been looking at the infused beverage market for almost a year now. And the reason why we found Levia to be so attractive, because of the science behind the product. So what do I mean by that? When you make hard seltzers, infused seltzers, it comes down to the emulsion process, the science around that. And the difference in the emulsion could mean the difference in terms of the time of the onset of the feeling of cannabis. With this product and its science and its emulsion, that's 15 minutes. So if you're new to cannabis and you've heard stories of people consuming too much and not having a great experience, the idea that you could properly dose yourself because you know exactly what feeling you're gonna have within 15 minutes, we think opens up the whole THC infused market to a whole class of buyers that have never even tried cannabis. Secondly, we talk about bioavailability. There are many competing products, as you mentioned, but the real question is, what is the bioavailability of those products? With Levia and its science and its emulsion, it's projected to be 100% bioavailable. So what do I mean? Our cans have 5 milligrams of THC. 100% bioavailability means the consumer gets 5 milligrams of THC. Most competing emulsions out there are only 30% bioavailable. What does that mean? When you buy a can of competing product that's 5 milligrams of THC, you're really only getting 1.5 milligrams. So Levia offers what we think is the most competitive onset with the highest degree of availability. In turn, that offers the consumer the best experience at the best price.
Mm-hmm. Now, we don't have too much time here, so I want to ask quickly, obviously Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer did just introduce a federal cannabis reform bill. It's unclear whether that will have enough traction to pass, but one thing that is clear is that federal cannabis reform is on the horizon. So how is Ayr Wellness gearing up for a future when cannabis is federally legal here in the U.S.?
So Ayr Wellness from day one, because many of us have come from a financial background, worked in Wall Street for many years, Ayr Wellness is infrastructure was built for this day from the beginning. The infrastructure, the technology, the compliance, the operational tech stacks are all built to control a business when that day came. We're already GAAP accounting. We did that last quarter. We continue to do that. We're ready for that day to happen. We've already started conversations with the exchange, so we're in a good position if and when that day happens to move very quickly.
John, thank you so much for your time and for your insights on the back of this exciting announcement. That is John Sandelman, CEO of Ayr Wellness. Alicia, back to you.